Hey everybody, welcome to PDQ Live. Today we are going to be talking top 5 PowerShell modules, which is very subjective. That's an opinion piece. But before, it's Package Wednesday.
It is Package Wednesday, which happens the Wednesday after what?
Patch
Tuesday. And as you can see, there's all our nice little packages. Oh, it is the time of year. Okay, Jordan, what are the new packages? What do we have? This is actually pretty cool, and it's been requested for a very long time.
Deploy an inventory.
There you go. Bam.
Nailed it.
Like we said, it has been requested for a long time, and this is kind of our Christmas present, our gift to all y'all. It's now available, which is
for as much as I love automation, manually installing deploy and inventory every time was just a delight for me.
I bet it was. I bet it was. So there you go. And just know that we'll update you on what the new packages are the Wednesday after Patch Tuesday, which is the second Tuesday of the month, if that's confusing enough. All right. Take it away.
Okay. So top 5 modules, which is very subjective. Every week on the podcast, we ask this for top 3, and we get a lot of variation, and it's the most difficult question I think you can ask is the best PowerShell module, because there's a lot of really good ones.
At first it was top 10, and you were like, I can't do it.
Well, we couldn't do top 10 in the time allowed. So what we did is we found, I think, top 5 that add quick functionality for any level, beginner to end, and we're going to highlight those.
I love how you still can't even commit to the top 5. You can't. You're just like, there's too many. Well,
there's because there was multiple inputs. The top 5 for me would be different for Andrew. So I think, except for PS Readline, I think PS Readline, everyone agrees,
it's awesome.
Is the best module.
It's a top.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see it.
We're going to cover PS Readline. I zoomed in so everyone can see. I'm going to share the screen there. All right. Can everyone see there?
Looks like really small. Oh, you were joking.
Whoa.
There we go.
All right. We went to terminal so we can zoom in just for Marcel.
Okay.
You got me good, Jordan.
Good.
You got me good.
So I was hoping you'd panic. Oh, is there something wrong with the screen share?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing.
All right. So if we do just git command for PS Readline, and PS Readline is a weird one because I think 2.0 by default comes with the product. What am I doing? Module. PS Readline. Man, typing is difficult. All right, so there's your commands for this one. So at its core, PS Readline is a bunch of functionality to make dealing with the console and finding the command you're looking for easier. So the first, like if you have a history, so if I do git command, you can see you get the little highlight there of ones I've done. Look at that, I've spoiled the future, Andrew, without console grid view. So it gives you those commands.
Yeah, you did.
But if we do a lot of the customization, so if we go back to the git dash command, or we'll do git module. If I do like specific module and I'm not sure what it's looking for, install module, not git module, Andrew. Man, you were messing up a lot. You should be embarrassed.
You talking to Andrew right now,
yeah.
or me?
No, Andrew. He's over here.
It is my fault. Yeah.
Over here watching me type poorly.
Obviously.
Boy, I still can't get module to tab out there.
Tab is your friend. Tab is your friend.
I would, but I think it locked on me. There we go.
There we go.
I like PowerShell. Right, I'm just going to control space.
Module.
Huh? Did I do it wrong? Name? All right. I guess
Are you trying to install the new version?
No, I just was showing. So here, name, I'm not sure what it's looking for. If I hit F1, it'll open up the help documentation to the name string where we were.
In a magic window?
Magic window. So you don't have to break context. You're all done here. Hit Q. You go back right back where you're looking. So if ever you're in a command you're not used to, being able to hit F1 just to open that. So if you just go with the main command and hit it, it's going to go to the start of it.
Yeah.
And you can find out all you need to know. So install module takes X.
So you don't leave your working space.
Yeah. So it really helps with, it just helps being able to find some more information about the command without having to break focus.
Stride.
Yeah. Because anytime you're in there programming, if you have to break, like you leave the window, you just lose momentum. You just do. So that's a kind of a nice one.
Nice.
Yeah. And in PowerShell, we always tell beginners one of the top tips is use the help system. And I think, honestly, a lot of times people forget to actually use it. And this is just one more helpful way to get information about whatever command or parameter you're working on quickly, and then getting back to working on the command.
So I did command. This is get PS function read handler. These are basically the shortcut keys built into PS read line. I'm bringing this one up because I'm in Windows Terminal, which all of it works great out of the box. If you're using VS Code, F1 has another function already. I think it opens up the command palette. So the F1 for the in-context help's not going to work. So either you can set up a different key than F1 here by changing the hotkey here, or you can modify the JSON file with VS Code, but there is some customization in VS Code to get the help context. All right. What else am I now? You're supposed to be... Help me out here, Andrew.
Yeah, I got you, man.
You use the best
Here
words.
we go.
Use the best word.
The best feature within PS Readline is some additional functionality that it adds, which is a history file across all your sessions. And we kind of saw a preview there when Jordan was typing. You saw the white text that popped up where it kind of filled in previous commands. And if he pressed the right arrow, he could fill it. Well, that's looking through his PS Readline history file, which is a super helpful way. And we'll show a way to customize the feedback provider style, which is what that is, right? As you're typing, it's giving you feedback on what you should type or could type based on your history. Jordan, do we want to show them the different way that it'll kind of search through all your history and show a bunch of different results?
Yes, but real quick in the chat, someone asked, does it work with PS5 and ISE? Yes, it does, but I don't think it comes in by default. You have to install it. Or really, you should be updating to the latest version anyway, because 2.0 is missing some stuff.
Yeah, definitely want to get the latest version. Microsoft has invested pretty heavily in this, like their PowerShell efforts. They're really trying to make it a good experience in the console, to make it a first-class language that everyone should use.
All right, so what I'm doing is I just did PS Reload options. I hit Control Space after the dash just so you can see everything that you can customize with that one. But I believe prediction view style is the one that you were talking about. So the default... The default is just the little gray line that you see there. If you go list view and then you do get command, it gives you a whole list of everything you have in there. So this is where you would pull from your history mostly. It removes duplicates by default. But also if you have a feedback provider, which is basically a AI. So there's one for Azure, there's an AI for Azure. You type in an Azure command, it'll give you your history up top. And below that, it'll give you everything that the AI thinks you might be doing. So it helps with functionality in case you haven't typed it before.
It gives you helpful suggestions.
Yes. Oh, and James, when I should have said, yes, the arrow key does autofill the predicted text if you want to.
Ooh.
And definitely worth reiterating, this searches previous histories. Some of these commands we ran yesterday on the test show thing. So if you're running PowerShell commands and you run something where you're like connecting 3 commands and it's kind of confusing, and you run it once, it's successful, and you want to bring it back up maybe the next day, if you start typing in part of the command, you'll get right back to it. Less time typing, more time automating away your problems.
So question, is there a limit to the history? Will it save it forever?
You can set how much it keeps or how far back it goes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty big though by default.
Yeah, it's you don't have to. It's probably going to keep a longer history than you would like.
So as a beginner, this seems pretty important.
Yes, and if you are looking to use both feedback provider as well as your history, it's just prediction source to history and plugin. Set that there, and that should help. We don't have any feedback providers installed, but those are really useful, especially for Azure. There's so many different Azure modules. There's so much that goes into those. Having some sort of AI, like you're probably looking to do this, is not bad.
Can you describe those really quickly, feedback providers?
It's just a AI for the command or module you're looking into.
Like a plugin, kind of?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's an extra install you can do.
Okay.
Yep. And to reiterate on PS Readline, if you don't have the latest version, which probably most people don't, install module PS Readline -force, and if you want, you can include pre-release. -include pre-release, I believe, is the switch for that.
Oh man,
and
I'm
you'll
giving
get the
away
latest
everything here.
features. It's okay. People can't read that fast.
Don't read the words.
But there's a lot of customization you can do and build on top of PS Readline, which we'll show a little bit of that later, maybe. But just out of the box, you get that prediction history thing where you can just press the right arrow and it searches through your history, which is a huge win. It saves me a ton of time. So definitely get it installed. And if you're not really at the point where you want to dive in deeper to fully understanding PS Readline, you can still get value out of it, and just kind of tuck it away in the back of your head that there's this thing called PS Readline that does a bunch of cool stuff.
I see pretty colors. Please tell me you're customizing.
Yes. So in here, if you want to do set PS Readline option and you have comment color, you can modify the color to be whatever you want. So if you want to move to non-defaults and make me cry a little bit,
I want hot pink. Let's
you
do
absolutely can do that. I'm not changing a dang thing.
it. That's shocking.
I'm all about the defaults.
You are.
All right. Do we have other stuff to cover on this one, or do we want to go on to the next module?
I think that's pretty good.
All right. What is the next module?
Jordan, I'm so glad you asked, because I actually have a fantastic module.
Oh, wow.
In fact, it's one of the top 5 modules in some ways. The next module I'd like to introduce you to, Jordan, you might not have heard of it. It's called PS Resource Get. So I just mentioned install module, and that uses the PowerShell Get module, which we've all been using, whether we know it or not, for a while, to run install module, install script, get find module, things like that. And that didn't really cover everyone's use case. So the PowerShell team has, again, invested a lot of resources in rewriting it to support new things. So instead of using install module, you can install Microsoft.PowerShell.PS Resource Get, which is the latest version, and you can install things using install-PS Resource. And this provides a few benefits. One of them is that you can install scripts, modules, new packages the same way, using the same install-resource command. And I know that go ahead, Jordan.
So it's basically a lot of what install module does, to just different on the back end, right? There's not
future-proofed.
Yeah,
exactly. It's where their current and future development efforts will go. So it's good to be aware of. And if you're writing new scripts that take advantage of install module or things like this, you should consider using install PS Resource. If you're a beginner and managing packages is already kind of a little bit of a daunting task, you can just go ahead and continue using install module. But I think as time goes on, we'll hear more and more about PS Resource Get. You'll start seeing the install PS Resource command in different places, and wanted to share this with everyone so they could be aware of some new stuff happening.
All right, I like it. I know I had some modules I'm supposed to cover.
I didn't bring
You
the
know what,
outline
Jordan?
today.
We got a lot of good modules to cover. But you know what's a hot topic these days, Jordan?
What's that?
AI. Have you heard of it?
I have heard of it.
Let's make some pictures.
You know, it's funny. The two that I'm covering as my main focus are both written and created by Doug Fink, which to me, spend some time in his repo. He does some great stuff. But he did one with the AI, which if you've ever tried to go out to ChatGPT and it's like, oh, we're too busy. If you do an API call instead of going to the website, you don't get that. It just works. That does require some setup. You have to go to like ChatGPT /my account /API. I'm in the ballpark.
Yeah.
And you have to generate a new API, and you have to put that in a specific system variable.
Okay.
And you can't have it as a secure string. And with that, it will use that to be able to make a call. So if let's do AI. We'll see what I asked yesterday. This one, do I have the correct API key? I like to ask that one, because if it comes back with an answer, then it's yes. Yeah, see? I do. But this is handy just because it's a quick way to find useful information without having we talked about with the help, not breaking your focus and going somewhere else, being able to just quickly say AI, how do I do blank, or
You never have to leave PowerShell again.
Yeah, what's the other one? What's the code help one? I'm forgetting the name.
It's called the Copilot. Is
Copilot,
the name of that
yeah.
command.
Yeah, so if I do Copilot, and then here we go. How do I get the PowerShell gallery to be trusted? Terra.
Hey, that wasn't me. That was Andrew, remember? This was
Okay,
a
hold on a
valid
second.
question. This was a valid question.
Yeah, and that one, if you use Copilot, and it doesn't just come back and say, here's a command for it. It says, this is the command that will do that. Do you want to run the code? That's pretty handy. But I think we're missing the most important part, and that's Dolly image.
Yes, let's draw some images.
First of all, I'm not going to make the PowerShell gallery
Only
trusted.
an idiot would do that.
Hey, on your system up in your office, would you say that repo has currently been added as trusted?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
I would say that.
Well, I'm not going to shame you anymore. So what is it? Get the image, except for it's going to be, you know what? I'm going to go back to VS Code because I don't want to do all the typing. No, we'll try it. So we'll do $A equals get dolly image. And then what am I looking for?
Hippos.
Hippos? That's it, just hippos?
I'd say Jordan on the PDQ webcast, but yeah.
Okay, let's see it.
Let's see what you look like.
The PDQ, I hope it's just X-rated.
Breathtaking. It's going to be breathtaking. Let's find out.
All right, that's going to go out and it's going to have the computer draw me a pretty picture. Well, no, it has my name in it. It's going to draw a picture. Hippos in a bathtub. I think in the dry run we did Hippo doing a bench press and he didn't look comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
No, not at all.
No.
All right, so when I set it to a variable so I wouldn't have to go find where it saved it. Can I just click on that? VS Code would let me
You
click
can
on that,
invoke
Andrew.
I know.
$A.
Invoke
nice,
what now?
right? Invoke-item, which is basically, it emulates a double click sort of thing. It'll open up the default program. And yeah.
What was
bada boom.
that?
Oh my gosh. Jordan, you look good, my man.
Wow.
What did they just add some weight to Matt Stafford and call it me?
Is that an AI pick?
Yes.
What in the heck?
All right. Well,
It's actually just a
AI.
random Facebook photo of some guy.
I thought we were friends.
I trust AI so much now.
Let's try hippos in a bathtub.
I am not going to try that one.
Yeah, the bathtub things.
So I recall we had one time, hey, can anyone use AI to come up with a useful image for, I think it was like a thumbnail for a YouTube channel, and the answer was no. No, we could not.
No. Okay.
But the more important part is, now I'm going to go to VS Code.
Okay. You really want to go back. VS Code's your friend.
It's where I'm at. So this one, I added a different module. This isn't one of my favorite modules, but I do like it. It's basically, it takes an image, and what do we want to do this one? Hippos. You said you seem stuck on hippos.
I like hippos. They're cute.
Hippo.
And dangerous. My favorite.
Hippo ballerina. Okay. So now it's going to go out and it's going to create the image and it's going to convert that to ASCII art, he said, without having tested it. Boy, I hope it works.
What could go wrong?
What's the worst that could happen? All right. See, and this is why it's important. You can get some real value there. Cannot find all right, so yeah, it didn't work.
We did. Well, I mean, we tried.
This is actually a known bug within the module. I believe it has been reported to Adam Bacon, but he's all like, oh, I have a job and a life. Or whatever.
Whatever, Adam.
All right, so yeah, it's going to fail on me on that one because it's going to make the image, but it's not going to convert to text. But if you go through and fix this error, and I believe it's documented on his Git, how to fix it, then it will go through and do that one. But that wasn't the showcase I was hoping. We're not going to end on a hilarious joke as I had hoped.
I really wanted to see the hippo. That's
Well,
upsetting.
Life is difficult.
Okay.
All right.
Jordan, just to reiterate, though, we showed some simple examples. Obviously, this could be tailored to some complex stuff to ask more advanced things. After a bit of setup in the beginning where you set up your API key, you will be able to have another tool in your tool belt where you don't have to leave PowerShell. And I think that, honestly, that's a bit of our theme for some of these modules is how can we make PowerShell easier to use, reduce the barrier of entry for getting automation done. And this definitely helps because if you're working on some code, you can prompt AI just right there and ask some questions about it.
Yeah, I guess if we want a real world example, I asked it what's a for each loop, and it came down with looks like a pretty solid answer for it. So if you're looking for some quick information, you don't want to go hit the Google, don't want to leave your context, it's really useful to have. It does a lot. It adds a lot of value. All right, back to you, Andrew. Module it
Back
up.
to me. You know, good friend of mine, Timothy McCabe, I believe in the chat, was talking about Outgrid View. I might be wrong about whoever said that. Yes, Timothy McCabe. Outgrid View. And that is a fantastic option to display some data. Jordan, could we show that command? Well, let's run a get process and we'll use the pipe to connect it to Outgrid View. And what we'll see is that it actually pops up an external window that's like a grid view of whatever data we give it. So this is going to be processes.
1 second, I gotta
Isn't
make sure I'm
that
not running
fantastic?
any bad processes. Okay, we're good.
Oh, yeah, scroll. Yeah. Kind of a simple way. Oftentimes we look at CSVs, we might be looking at AD, whatever the case may be. We get a bunch of data. We want to look through it for some reason and visualize it. This is a cool option. bad sign, and it goes against the principle of what we've been talking today. It pops up a new window. Can be kind of annoying. We don't dig that. What we do dig is terminal user interfaces. So it's basically like a GUI, but it's right there in the terminal on top of what we're looking at. So Jordan, if you don't mind, could you run install ps resource microsoft.powershell.console GUI tools?
I can't because I did it through install module already.
Oh, well, you could force it.
You want me to do it that way?
Do it live. It might fail. We're risking it for the biscuit.
Yeah, at this point, not only has it already been done, but it's being actually used, right? Like I couldn't uninstall because it was running. I'm not going to question it.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to question it. You're in charge here. I'm just along for the ride.
Yeah, you shouldn't have listened to me.
I try not to.
It's okay.
Oh, look at that. It's going. I'm going to trust
See
it.
if it works. Hey, that's so fantastic right there.
It went awful quick,
Let's
almost
run the
like it was
same
already
thing.
installed.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, wow, this new module's fast. Let's go ahead and run get process and then pipe that to out console grid view. Again, console's the thing where we're running PowerShell. It's displaying it for us. We're interacting with it. Yeah. Boom. Now that looks fancy. That was a whole lot of fanciness.
So how is this
just a simple command?
How is this different than the out grid view that we just showed? Can I interact differently with it or something?
It's in the same window. Were you listening?
Really.
It's in the same window. Single pane of
That
glass.
is a huge.
There's that.
Tara, you get it. You get it. Yes. Yes. Honestly, it's not super better than out grid view. It is just another option. I've found more success whenever I'm building tools for myself or for other people if there's less hoops to go through, less windows to click through. And this is one way where you can quickly present data. Now, presenting data is not that fancy, but we can make a tool out of this. Can you believe that?
I can.
And I'll introduce you to the parameter for it, Jordan.
All right.
So let's push the up arrow key to get our previous result in our, oh, wow, that was fast. Yes. And now, so there is a parameter called output mode.
I didn't know we were going there.
You didn't, did you? I like to mix things up. There's output mode. And output mode has a couple options. You can do single or multiple. So you can, what it's going to be doing is outputting whatever you select in the pipeline, which means, yeah, let's just run it just like this. Multiple's cool.
Multiple?
Let's run this.
All right.
And you can click on two things.
Click on.
Yeah.
All right. So we have multiple check
Exactly. You
marks.
see the little check boxes. And then when you're done, you're going to press enter.
There we go.
Bada boom. And it passes those processes that you selected. That's not that helpful, to be honest with you, until we connect that with another command. Pretty cool. You see we're going someplace here. Pipe that with stop process dash what if.
Oh, look, it's almost like it's in our history.
Yeah, it's like we prepared for this.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to
Bada
choose.
boom.
I'm going to kill these processes. Which one is the one that runs the webcast? I'm going to find that.
Hey, now.
All right. So if I hit enter, it should technically, except for since we put what if, it's going to say important.
Bada
So
boom.
you could select multiple processes there, hit enter, and you could kill apparently those randomly selected processes. I killed code in
Which is
Chrome.
cool. Obviously, not the most helpful tool right here, but this can be adapted to anything you're dealing with. Anytime you want to spot check data or filter it yourself or whatever, you can start using out console grid view to do that. And then once you have a tool that sort of works, that's all you need. It's just that one liner where you connect the commands and bada boom. Maybe for some people, that'll be the first function that they write, the first tool that they create and are able to distribute.
Yeah, so that one's more of a, you showcase just how quickly you can get some sort of results, but the value comes in. If you build something where you're pulling back any amount of data and you want to pick and choose what to interact with, having that there just makes it easier.
Exactly. Just a nice way to make a tool and add some filtering on your end. I don't think we should show it right now because I think we're running a little low on time, but there's also a command called show-object tree that's a part of the console GUI tools module, which is worth checking out. You know what? We can show it.
He's showing it, Andrew.
He's a rebel.
Okay.
It didn't do
So
anything.
it's going to show an object tree of nothing. So what we're going to need to do is give it an object. And PowerShell, most things return objects, like get process returns process objects. And yeah, if we connect it with a pipe, bada boom. we have a graphical representation of a object with nested properties and all kinds of fancy stuff. So it's a nice way to visualize data, because objects can be confusing in PowerShell, especially in the beginning, to understand, like, what am I looking at here? What are the process names? This is a quick way to get a grasp of the data that you're dealing with.
All right. So we're on the last one, import Excel.
Yes, sir.
All right. So with this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the output from Connect reporting, because I'm a heck of a salesman, and I'm going to use import Excel to convert it into a little bit more readable than just a CSV. So I guess first things first, we're going to go to reports, and we're going to run all apps. But if you look at it here, it's, there you go, list of all the applications you have in there. But we're not going to run it. We're going to export that, and it puts it in the download file. I don't know if you can change that. I totally didn't run that yesterday. All right, we're going to just copy that and go back and put it somewhere where it's easier to reach, the temp folder. And extract all. All right, so all it did is it took the report that we saw run in Connect, it made it a CSV file, the data's in there, but CSV is not great. If you want to send it up to management, you want them to ooh and ah. Ooh and ah and all that jazz. All right, so import Excel is a command that lets you take a CSV or an Excel document and do a lot of customization.
Okay.
So in this one, I'm going to take those apps, and I did all apps because we don't have a lot in our lab and there's not a lot of licensed software. But in this example, we'll say we selected a whole bunch of apps where we have limited licenses to. And I'm going to convert this into a pivot table where it will give me a list of the software, how many used licenses there are, and what machines they're on.
So we're going to audit it, make sure we're in compliance.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So this is top line. So this first line here is I'm taking the CSV and I'm putting it into a variable. Maybe. Did I not name it right?
All apps CSV.
Oh, it's all apps
got one.
I didn't name it right. Nice, Jordan. This is why you're an amateur. Can't even find a rename.
Come on, man.
Here we are.
There it is.
And there, I think I probably better do it for the file too. Nope. Oh, nice.
The file is right. The folder wrong.
Okay. All right.
Let's do it.
Now
Now it's going to work.
Now I'm going to load that CSV into a variable. All right. So the next one is I'm taking the CSV that I have. We're going to export it into Excel document. If you have Excel on your computer, you don't need to give it a file name. You can just hit show and it will print out. It will show you in Excel what it would be. And then after that, I'm just basically saying make it a table, and we're going to build a pivot table off of the software name and everything else. Like I said, show, this is nice. I already exist with data in that range. Anyway, let's hope it worked.
Let's find out.
All of my stuff's not working. We're going to go in here and what do we name it? New file.
Okay.
Oh, it's because I had it open within Excel already and I couldn't delete it properly.
It's almost like we practiced.
Yeah, it's going to go back. We're going to try that again.
Let's do it again.
I'm going to do a dash force just so it overwrites whatever in there. Is there even a dash force for that one? I don't think there is.
So we don't have a desktop version of Excel, and that's why it's opening in
Sheets and pivot table.
or web, not OWA.
So what I did there is I opened up a pivot table beforehand, I believe, and I would have to know what I named it to close it. Did I close all of my Office 360? Oh my goodness.
Maybe.
Amateur hour.
I blame Office.
I'm going to get fired.
It's always Offices. Oh,
It
you don't have to
is.
worry about it.
We'll go back in, book 4, see if we can't open it. Or maybe the problem is I didn't delete the...
The old one sees that same name.
Well, it looks like we might make progress. All right, so this is the default. There's all the CSV.
Yep.
The pivot table on 2 is where you see this is a list of all the files you have. This is the total number. These are the computers that have one. So if you're only worried about the total, you can collapse those. But it's just a quick way to take the CSV. It's just a bunch of data and make it into something. You could save this, send it off to your manager. He can ooh and ah. He can be thrilled.
It's so pretty.
He can golf clap that he has the image that he wants. Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
Another example we have in that one, which we can, it's up to you if we want to spend the time.
How much time?
I'm basically loading a different report and doing...
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so this we're going to go on hard drive space, which back to reports. But anyway, webcast example free space. I'm going to try that one just to see.
Let's see.
All right. Once again, it's the export into the downloads folder because that's where it goes.
Are you going to put it in temp folder?
I'm going to put it in temp folder.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Unfortunately, until we get the API, I don't know if there's a way to automate where you can say, go grab this one and put it in a different location. Mm-hmm. So there's still a bit of a manual component, but the API is coming.
And we're going to extract it. This is the exciting part.
Mm-hmm. All right, so this one is just all the free space. And on this one, by default, it throws the % in there, which with Excel changes a whole bunch of the function. It still tries to, by default, put in as text. So I did change the PowerShell a bit. And I said the same thing, we're importing the one that I just built. And then this next part is I'm going through each value, and everywhere that it has the % free, I'm just removing the % sign. And then we're going to come in here and say, if the result is less than 30, make it red. That way it just gives you a nice chart of these are the machines that probably need more free space.
Okay. I like it.
We'll go back to Excel again. This time, look at that. No errors.
It's going to be so pretty.
I nailed it.
I feel it.
I like my extreme confidence.
I do too. It's red.
And there you go. Yeah. So that's just 2 quick wins. Like Import Excel does so much more. And if you go to the GitHub, they have an entire list of complex examples of converting data. Mm-hmm. But if you're dealing with large sets of data and you don't want to spend time, or you want to automate the part where you put it in Excel and make it beautiful or useful, Import Excel is a must-have. It makes all of that stuff, and you don't even have to have Excel to run it. You can. I built these Excel objects on a machine that doesn't have Excel installed.
Yeah,
it's awesome to have.
Agree.
Yep. I will say that when it comes to sharing data with people who are not you, presentation actually does go a surprisingly long way. One of my big wins I had at a previous job was automating some reporting on license usage and just literally looping through it all and creating a work page for each one and adding some simple formatting to it to kind of make it look nice and add a little header at the top. And we were able to share that with people in accounting in different places and have them be able to interpret it without any fanciness or needing to read a crappy CSV, basically.
Yeah, the main takeaway is if Doug says he has a new module, you should probably look at it because he puts out some awesome stuff.
We do have one question if you'd like to
all right, let's do it.
That. When you install the latest PowerShell version, or generally, what do you throw out? Which modules/components? Sincerely, Marcel.
So for me, I stick with defaults. I almost always have. I do update PS Readline to the latest version because a lot of the functionality we covered is a new addition. So I update PS Readline. Other than that, I keep it pretty much as close to default as I can. I'd be curious here, Andrew.
I run update help.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah, update help is pretty much it. I don't know of anyone who removes some of the things that come with PowerShell from the beginning.
Yeah, it's more of an add thing. Yeah, I know a lot of people have profiles where no matter where they log into a system, it builds their profile out to where they had it. But that's a personal customization that I couldn't even begin to, especially where I keep defaults. Mm-hmm. I don't have a lot on that one, but yeah, I don't know if I remove anything. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. I love talking PowerShell. I can't imagine a better PowerShell for me to handle this one. I had a lot of fun with this one. Thank you for letting me talk your ears off. For PDQ, I'm Jordan.
I'm Tara.
That's Andrew, way over there in Florida, basking in the sunshine. Thanks for joining us today. If you have additional questions, feel free to reach out to our support forums or, you know what, leave us some YouTube comments and like and subscribe. We love that. Thanks again, and we'll see you back here next week.